Hello, everybody. My name is Hector Michelena. I'm a cardiologist and a professor of medicine at Mayo Clinic and part of the board of directors of the Heart Valve Society. Welcome once again to the Heart Valve Society interview series. In this series, as you know, the idea is to and to discuss fascinating topics, share about. I've already done that with Dr. Pibaro in the past in regards to our new Journal of the Heart Valve Society. Our annual meeting, our annual membership offers a host of exciting opportunities for you. Be sure to visit the HVS website to learn more about how you can join and get involved. We're also thrilled to announce that the next annual meeting will be held in April of 2025 in Cairo, Egypt, and registration and housing are available right now. Today, however, it is a very special day because we're taking the opportunity that we're hitting the 10-year anniversary of the Heart Valve Society, which was founded in 2014 or so, 2015. And we have a historic interview today on the why and how of the Heart Valve Society, kind of to show what our blueprint was, what our DNA has been, what our mission has been, what has been accomplished of our mission, and what is our future. The people that we have here, or the people that I have joining me today, is like an unbelievable panel from any historian or academician dream. We have them here. We're going to interview them. We're going to hear from them as to how we came together to form this society. Where do we come from? What is our DNA and where are we going? You will see that these interviews from today are the ultimate collection of professors, surgeons, cardiologists, researchers in the field of valvular disease for your enjoyment. And in reality, the biography and the contributions of these founders and pioneers are really immense. And it is a great pleasure and a great honor to have you all here today. I am joined by Dr. Sahil Khera, who's an assistant professor of medicine at Mount Sinai, New York, and will help me interview our founders and pioneers. He's the interventional director of structural heart program there. And just a couple of housekeeping things. We're going to try to keep it about 5 minutes or so per person. And depending on how interesting things are getting, people may comment as they see fit, respectfully. If there's an anecdote or something that needs to be said, please remember to unmute when talking and to mute when not talking. So with that said, we are going to get started, and I'm going to go ahead and share. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Can we see it? Yes, we can, right? Let me switch this around. So hopefully everybody can see the screen. So again, it's the 10th year anniversary of our Heart Valve Society, and we're speaking today with the founders and pioneers, and looking at the mission, what it is, what has been accomplished, and what the future and vision is going to be. One of the accomplishments you can already see there on your right side, we have now our Journal of the Heart Valve Society, which is owned by us, learning from prior mistakes in the past, and it's been run by Sage, and Dr. Philippe Pivaro is the editor-in-chief, and there are a lot of people who behind the scenes have worked tirelessly to make this journal happen. The first issue of the journal is already out. And it is really a tremendous achievement, and the quality, the academic quality of the contents are tremendous. So invite you to look at that. It's the only journal fully dedicated to the heart valve disease, and it's our flagship, and it provides a voice and forum for the research and healthcare community involved in the management of heart valve disease, and also to the people living with heart valve disease. So that being said, I must say one of the interviewees today is my academic father, is Dr. Maurice Sarano, who used to take me when I had more hair with him to the Heart Valve Society of America, so I could present my cases and all that stuff. So since 2006, I've been at it with the Heart Valve Society of America, thanks to Maurice. And I must say that, beyond everything, it's the friendships that I have been able to acquire. It's the purpose that I've been able to feel, the mentorship that I have been given and that I have been able to give back, and the research collaborations and the international connections that this society has opened in my view. And overall, it's been really fun, and that's why it is such a great pleasure for me to do this interview today. So 3 things about the funders, the founders, the pioneers, and how the struggle was, and then about our mission, what it was supposed to be, what it has been, and of course the future. Here is a slide with the founders of the Heart Valve Society, and you can see here Dr. Frederick Moore from Leipzig, Germany. You can see Dr. Takkenberg. These are our European colleagues. Dr. Hanneke Takkenberg. This is Dr. José Luis Pomar from Spain. This is Dr. Maurice Sarano from the US, although he was born in Tunisia. And this is Jeff Borger. I think it's important to mention that at the time of the creation of the Heart Valve Society, Dr. Moore, and you'll correct me if I'm wrong, was president of the Society of Heart Valve Disease, the European Society of Heart Valve Disease, and Dr. Borger, who you can see here, was president of the Heart Valve Society of America. So Dr. Moore was supposed to join us. I don't think he was able to. He's retired. His curriculum and his contributions are enormous. And I do have Michael Borger, who was the first president of the Heart Valve Society and knows Dr. Moore quite well. And I would love to ask Michael just to comment about Fred Moore and why did Fred Moore want to merge these European and American societies?
Thanks very much, Hector. Well, Fred, as you know, was a visionary. He not only had a great impact on our society, but also on cardiac surgery in general, and even cardiology to some extent. And he just felt that the 2 societies were sort of doing a lot of the same duplicate work, that it was a lot of the same people that were involved in both societies. And he, if I got this correct, Maurice, please correct me if I'm wrong, approached Maurice and Jeffrey Bohr back then and said, look, I think it would make more sense if we all got together. The community is not that large, but it's growing. And everybody saw this as a very unique opportunity to bring together clinicians, clinician scientists, basic researchers, and bioengineers that are all interested in helping patients with heart valve disease. So I think this was the impetus, but I would also let Maurice correct me.
Yeah, and I will show here a picture of who was the president of the American Heart Valve Society at that time, who's not with us today either. but I would like obviously to ask Maurice Sarano. Maurice Sarano is my academic father and is one of the most prolific valvular heart disease researchers that exist. As you can see, he likes to take pictures with bald people to highlight his hair. So there's so that's just a picture of joy there. So Maurice, let me ask you before I ask you about your presidency. Let me ask you about Jeff Borger and the union, the merger of these two societies.
Jeff is an investigator who has been all his life involved with research on valve disease, and he was a great organizer from New York. He had created the society on his own, bringing people in, and we were early members of the Heart Valve Society of America. And we had meetings where we had merged the Mayo meeting with the New York meeting, and we were alternating the places. And so we had great collaboration. We had great publication of this group. And so we were, I pushed a little bit because you know that my sort of international view and the fact that I was collaborating to sort of say, okay, we need more collaboration. And I was, as Michael said, very lucky to have met Fred Moore. A giant in terms of surgery, a giant in terms of investigation, and the most honest man and well-aiming that I've known. He had sort of saved the situation with the Society of Heart Valve Disease because he would raise the money to pay the debt, and then we had to empty the shell of the Society of Heart Valve Disease, and it was a great time with a great team in Leipzig to do the merging, and we had that interest in international collaboration and the common desire to bring the world together who works on valve disease. There was always the surgeons, the different regions, and we wanted to bring all the regions together, all the subspecialty together. And Fred in Leipzig had been organizing that in a masterful way. And so we thought we had great collaboration, great colleagues that we wanted to work with, and we thought it was the right time to do it. With all the challenges that you have to bring people that have the Atlantic Ocean in between. So it was in reality very simple, because when you have people of the caliber of Fred, it was a very simple merging.
And let me ask you, Maurice, you were president from 2015 to 2016. Just before we interview who was the first president of the Heart Valve Society, what was your biggest challenge, would you say, and what was your biggest highlight of when you were president during this time?
We were all working together, and the issue was, okay, we merged, and now what? Where do we meet? Where do we? How do we get organized? And so we had to improvise a lot. We were lucky that during for the meeting, at the same time, Michael was the first, because we wanted a European to start, and so he was the first to try to gather money, to gather us together. I used my friendship with Gilles Dreyfus to sort of get something going in Monte Carlo. So we had a great, attractive location, but it was all improvisation, finding the money, alerting people, getting the presenters. I transformed myself into a travel agency to support that first meeting. and so but out of nothing came out something, and it was a very beautiful meeting. And Michael can speak better about it. It was his meeting, but I think it was very enjoyable, and we had a great time.
Yeah, yeah. So I mean, it's very nice to hear what our background is of trying to merge two societies around one theme, which has now grown exponentially in the world, which is a heart valve disease, and have everybody participate as a global society that includes all the world, includes not only first world countries but third world countries, and also includes everybody that works with heart valve disease, from surgeons to cardiologists to interventional cardiologists to imagers to researchers to engineers, and I think that has been the blueprint. Here's a slide that shows who our presidents have been since 2014, 2015, 2016. She's alternating between several countries and different specialties, as you can see. Michael, he will tell us in a minute, but Michael is kind of American, Canadian, German, but we'll see which one he chooses. Maurice is from Africa and from France and from Minnesota. And Gilles Dreyfus is from Monaco, and Marty Leon. As you can see, the people that have been presidents here, Hanneke, Takkenberg, Rakesh Suri, Vinod Turani, are all really pioneers and great academicians. Of course, Marta Sitges from Spain, and Carlijn Buten as well from the Netherlands. And as you can see, we have cardiologists, surgeons, researchers that have all alternated being presidents of this society. So it is great to have Michael Borger here. I have had the opportunity of knowing him and working with him. He's a great guy. He's a super academician. He's a top-notch world surgeon. He's the director of cardiac surgery and medical director of the Leipzig Heart Center of the University of Leipzig in Germany. So welcome, Michael. You were our first president.
Yeah, thank you, Hector. Yeah, it was a great honor for me. Maurice and Jeffrey and Fred and Jose and Hanneke, they had decided that I would be the right person to lead for the first year. And it was incredible, but at the same time also challenging. Maybe if I can just follow in the same footsteps of what you asked Maurice, I would say, the biggest challenge was basically just getting our name known, because it was a brand new society. And we actually had some disagreements about what the name should be. The Europeans were saying, International Heart Valve Society sounded very good, but that had some negative connotations from some of our American colleagues. And we eventually ended up agreeing to Heart Valve Society, which I think is a superb name. And just, we weren't sure what was going to happen because it was an unknown entity. But as Maurice alluded to, it was a huge success the first year. And I would say that's the biggest success of the first year was our meeting in Monaco. It was a brilliant idea for Maurice to get Gilles Dreyfus to organize this together with PRI. PRI did a fantastic job. And I'll never forget the night before the meeting on the faculty dinner on Gilles Dreyfus's terrace overlooking Monaco. This is something that one does not easily forget. And indeed, we had a really good turnout. People really enjoyed seeing each other and exchanging their ideas and their passions about heart valve disease. And I would say that all in all, it was a big success. But again, I just have to tip my hat to Fred Moore. I come from Canada originally, like you said, did my training under Tyrone David, who taught me so much about surgery, but Fred taught me about life. And he not only was an incredibly gifted visionary, but also extremely good with industry, seeing industry as a partner and not necessarily as a as a countervailing presence, which a lot of people in cardiac surgery see. And he was able to use these connections with industry and help me use these connections to get us on stable financial footing at the beginning of the society's existence. So it's a shame Fred can't be here today. He's unfortunately, for medical reasons, can't be here, but I know he would have loved to have been here, and certainly he sent his greetings to everybody the last time I spoke to him.
Well, that's fantastic. I mean, actually, Michael is currently on vacation, and he's doing this interview. So that's how much love he has for this organization. I'm going to pass it to Dr. Sahil Khera to talk to our next interviewee, who's not only a founder but was also a past president.
Great, thank you, Hector. Thank you, Heart Valve Society. First of all, congratulations to all the previous past presidents and founders, and many congratulations to Ismail for being the president of the 10th season. So Dr. Hanneke Takkenberg, she is obviously very famous. She was a professor at Erasmus, very well researched, very well-known cardiothoracic surgeon. So thank you for joining us. I will ask her a few questions. One of them is, how was it when you first became president? What did you acquire from your past presidents, and what did you give back to the society?
Well, thank you very much for including me in this wonderful conversation. First and foremost, it's so good to see everybody. I've been involved for the longest time ever, I think. I became involved in 2007 through Professor Magdi Yacoub in the Society for Heart Valve Disease. And I went through the whole process. And I think, Jose, you have been one of my companions there. That's at least how I feel it. And I recall very vividly a dinner in Barcelona, and where we all sat down, and I think, Michael, you were also there, where we sat down, and basically that was a very difficult conversation. But in the end, I think we really consolidated what is now Heart Valve Society. And I learned, I think the most I learned, again, from Jose, but also from Jeff, who was, I think, as you described him, Maurice, really key to what Heart Valve Society stands for today. And the same applies to you, Maurice. I learned so much from you as well there. What resonates with me the most is bringing together, and I think we just saw that, but looking at the pictures of the presidents, is that we're trying to be really an organization that puts the patients, our patients with heart valve disease, at the core of what we do, and not just the patients from the more developed parts of the world, but we take a global perspective. And I think it's through being in the companionship of you all that we are where we are right now today. And I think where we are is really great, and looking so much forward also to go to Cairo. And for me, that makes it all come together again, because I also think that there, through Professor Magdi Yacoub, who has been crucial to starting the Heart Valve Society, that we really now come full circle, going back to Egypt.
Great. Dr. Takkenberg, one last question, which I think sort of will resonate with you, is you have been very involved with the female Dutch professors. You have run the society there. And when you joined, there was a slew of male presidents in this society. And I think you were the first female president. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct. And I remember that actually it was Professor Yacoub, with whom I had lunch one day in 2006 or 7, who said, I'm stepping down from the board, but I would like you to take my place, because he also thought that we needed more diversity of perspective. Great. And I think a lot of the people here sometimes must have really been annoyed about me because I kept on pushing the agenda on a diversity of perspectives, not only more women, and I still think we can do better, but also representation from all over the globe.
Great. No, so how do you foresee or how do you differentiate this society, and you've been involved in many others, from other society in terms of diversity and inclusion? And we have some female superstars I work with, and I really feel that you definitely have better hands than most of the men I've trained and worked with. So how do you feel this society is different, and what do you see in the future for it?
Yeah, what I see, well, our society is unique because it focuses on this particular awful disease, and we combine forces through the thought of what if we bring all these great minds together and really have collective intelligence trying to solve all those wicked problems within heart valve disease. And I think that's our superpower. We are diverse in many ways, and at the same time, we're also inclusive. And I think its inclusivity is really key to what we have achieved and what we will achieve toward the future.
Fantastic. Thank you. Thank you for your time and really for all your efforts. Back to you, Hector.
Yes, so I will give it back to you for Dr. Jose Luis Pomar. I could interview him in Spanish.
Yeah, let's stick to English today. Hi, Dr. Pomar, how are you?
Thank you. Thank you very much for inviting me to this very interesting video session, or whatever we call it to that, but to celebrate 10 years of the Heart Valve Society. I was just trying to explain that the very beginning, and we are all getting old, and the very beginning was at the time of the 70s when there was something called the Le Club Mitral. And Maurice remembers that also very well, and most of you do. And it was Alain Carpentier, the father of these people there trying to make or to know about the mitral valve repair, basically. But at the same time, there was the idea to open wider the idea of the mitral to different things, and they were organizing something called the Scientific Committee for the Advancement of Bioprosthesis. They were there, Donald Ross, Robert Frater, Eric Jemison, Mark O'Brien, Larry Cohn, Bill Angel, Alain Carpentier, Stolf, people from many countries at the same time in this kind of a scientific committee. And they were doing meetings, which is a pity I cannot show you the pictures, but they were doing meetings where there was normally very good attendance, up to 800 to 1,000 people, different times, of course, but it was like this. It was a very nice time, and with different things, like the Olympics on the beach, the homographs, again, the bovine, and the porcine heterographs, and everybody was making fun on the beach together with the others and knowing the people a little bit each other on a friendly atmosphere, really in a very nice way. And I still remember when we did a meeting in the 17, I believe it was, which was a meeting of this society, the Advancement of Cardio Bioprosthesis, and we had a big debate between Alain Carpentier and Magdi Yacoub about what it was better, a stainless or a standard. And it was a fantastic talk or discussion about the two of them, was really nice. And probably the first thing it happened at that time, and sorry, again, not to show you the slides, it was the issue that after this meeting, Alain Carpentier wanted to have the papers printed in less than 3 months. Something really not easy. But he was able to get as a supplement of the Annals of Thoracic, and then there was a big discussion with Ender Bodnar because he was supposed to go to the Society of Bodnar. And at that time already, Alain Carpentier said, no, I don't care. we are going to publish everything on the annals. We spent the whole summer. He came to my house even during the holidays, and we reviewed all the papers, and we were able to organize it by topics and things, and we sent it to the annals and was published in December, if I'm not wrong, the same year, December 97. So it was already a very, very important thing, but at the same time was a kind of the first battle with the journal it was used to have. As you know, Magdi was a friend also of Bodner. We were talking together. We had a meeting. He invited me to his office once, and we were talking about how to do that, because I was, Carpentier asked me to be the president, coordinator, whatever you want to call it, of the scientific committee. And then we met in England together with Magdi in his office. And then he said to me, I'm going to Paris for the distinction Alain Carpentier was having in Paris, a kind of the sword of the academy, the French Academy or something like this. We have to sit down with him in Paris. And I went there, and at the end of the session with queens and kings from other countries, so it was a very important thing. But as a matter of fact, Carpentier invited Magdi and myself to Le Dôme in a restaurant in Paris, and then it was the very beginning. We have to decide to get the scientific committee inside of the Harvard Society. And it was tough, and I will never forget the words at the end, discussion and everything was okay. We are good friends. We want to have the best for everybody. And then Alain Carpentier said a sentence saying, science has nothing to do with democracy. But if you feel we should go to the Society of Harvard Disease, let's do it. And because we're saying that the committee was a little bit not dictatorial, but it was not really organized as a society. So this was the beginning of the going to the Society of Harvard Disease, the whole group of people going there. And after some time, some years, Fred Moore became the president. I have to be honest, I left the society. I left the society because I had problems with Bodner due to the publication of the annals and everything. And at the end, Fred Moore was the president of the society. And one afternoon, I was leaving the OR, and I got a call from Fred. Jose, take a plane. Berlin, Air Berlin has a flight direct from Barcelona. You come to Berlin, and somebody will ask for you at the airport, and will take you down to the river where I am with Maurice on a boat. Do you remember that, Maurice? And I went there, and I didn't know what the hell it was going to be, all this thing. And the idea was at the time was there is the Harvard Society of America. Maurice knew very well the whole structure, how it was and everything. And we need to have the two societies together. And then we are going to explain you. Tomorrow you will be the president of the Harvard Society. Me? I am not a member anymore. Forget it. You will be tonight a member, and tomorrow we are organizing the whole thing. And the mission is to get the two societies together. And I remember it was a very nice evening talking together. Even then Carpentier also came there to the board, and we were talking all together. And the next meeting we had, I remember I went to the Marriott Marquis talking to Jeff Borger. Maurice was always helping a lot in every single thing. But at the end, we were able to get together with Jeff quite well. I have nice pictures with Jeff in Venice, where we said, okay, we have to finish the Harvard Society, and then we start the Harvard Society and not the Society of Harvard Diseases. And the next thing was what happens with the papers, the publications. And Hanneke was telling the truth. I still have a picture here. It's a pity you cannot see that, huh? But I have a picture where Michael, Hanneke, and myself were sitting together on a table trying to discuss. The three of us were sitting with somebody else, but the people were not sitting there. And we were talking about the how to reorganize the whole thing. And honestly, I think it was a fantastic idea. I think the Society of Heart Valve Disease, in fact, from the beginning, the idea of Fred, as Michael was saying, was to have everybody together, cardiologists, surgeons, and I don't know why they called me to go there to help, as in the chemistry. But as a matter of fact, when I came to Barcelona for the first time, my idea was to get together cardiology and surgery. And since then, we have in the medical school in Barcelona, and only a very few in Europe, the cardiology and cardiovascular surgery all together in cardiovascular medicine in the medical school, and also the other.
Luis, I am sorry to interrupt you. We have to move ahead a little bit because of time. Thank you so very much for those anecdotes. It's really a pity that we could not see your slides. But let me move ahead with the final part of our interview today, which is our actual current Heart Valve Society president, Dr. Ismail El-Hamamsy, who is a surgeon at Mount Sinai. And let me ask you, Ismail, has the mission been accomplished, and what is the future, and what is the vision?
Well, that's a big question. I'll try to keep it brief, Hector, because in the interest of time. But first of all, congratulations on putting this together. It's really nice to hear the history behind the Heart Valve Society, its formation, and to hear from the past presidents who all continue to shine in their own ways, in their own institutions. I think what is really interesting is that heart valve disease, or at least the management of heart valve disease, has evolved tremendously since the inception of the Heart Valve Society 10 years ago. And what we're seeing today is all the more need for implementing the vision of the founders, which is to bring together surgeons, cardiologists, interventional cardiologists, imagers, researchers, engineers around each and every one of these valves. And more important, not just bring people together, but also keep a global outlook on valve disease, and not forget that the #1 cause of valve disease in the world to this day remains rheumatic valve disease. So we should not be speaking in echo chambers about very fancy things only. It's important to advance the field with technology, but it's also always important for us to remember the poor patients who are suffering from rheumatic valve disease everywhere around the world, who are underserved and not having access to basic care. So the conversation is so important at so many different levels, all the more so today than it was even 20 years ago, where there was really only one way to manage valve disease. Today, we have tissue engineering, we have research, we have stem cells, we have transcatheter procedures, we have very advanced imaging. There are so many layers to the management of valve disease that make it so exciting, that give all the more reason for the Heart Valve Society. I think the society will continue to evolve from what it was 10 years ago to what it will be 10 years from now when we repeat a series like this one. But I'm very excited. I think we need to invest in the young generation. We need to continue to foster this society, as hard as it is today, to organize meetings and to keep societies alive and to raise money. But it is really essential that we do so, because that's the only way that we can focus on the patients. At the end of the day, it's the patients and the science that drive every decision we make. It's not procedures. It's not my specialty versus yours. It's really the patients and their disease. And this society is very unique in that it brings all of these people together around the disease, as opposed to, let's talk about the procedures that we do. So I'm excited. I look forward to seeing all of you in Cairo in April to talk more about these things and to continue to build on what Michael started as the inaugural president on the back of everything that Jose Luis spoke about, the preceding 30 years or so of advancement from the idea of the Club Mitral to what the Heart Valve Society became, and what Hanneke managed to bring into the society and inject in terms of ideas and diversity of thought and perspectives and science, and bring all of our individual and collective expertise again in the service of patients and science. So again, Hector, thank you so much for bringing us together. This has been really fascinating to me, and I hope that we can have more of these. And Sahil, thank you for co-hosting it with Hector as well.
Well, listen, I wish to thank all the participants very, very much. This interview hopefully will be saved for posterity to give us a little bit of what the DNA sequencing of our society is. And this interview is a testament to the fact that no one can achieve something great alone, that we need our friends and colleagues, that we need ideas, but we also need persistence, and that we have to show up and fight and struggle. And perhaps the most important aspect is the finding of purpose and joy that we need as humans, and that the Heart Valve Society has given to so many of us. So we hope that you found the discussion engaging and informative as we did. This recording will be available on the Heart Valve Society website, and stay tuned for more interviews in this series. We look forward to seeing you again. Until next time, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, everybody.